Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News. Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. Stand up for your country. I told you things would happen before November. And I got to say, I was surprised when President Biden announced he wants to debate Donald Trump 2 times. I was really surprised. I don't know if that is going to work out. And I'm going to have extensive analysis on it. But when I heard it, I went, why is the White House doing this? And the obvious answer is the White House knows it's in trouble. And that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. So first, the hard news, CNN debate. Okay, June 27th, Thursday. Don't know where it is yet, but they'll find a place, I'm sure. Both candidates have confirmed now. Donald Trump said he would do it. Both candidates insulted each other in the process of this. Here's what President Biden said. Go.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Snide, right? That's a reference to the trial in New York City. And Trump didn't lose 2 debates to Joe Biden in 2020. I mean, purely subjective. People believe what they want to believe, but, you know, that's ridiculous. And now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. And Biden says he hasn't shown up for a debate. What do you mean he hasn't shown up for debate? When did Trump not show up for a debate with Biden? I mean, just ridiculous. But he just made my point for me, President Biden. Both of these men will say anything. So how can any human being moderate this debate? I mean, my suggestion is get Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with a threat of menace. But even The Rock couldn't do this. In order to stop the exaggeration, the hyperbole, the misstatements, you would have to interrupt both of them constantly. And that would just ruin everything. So I have a solution. And I debated it with Sean Hannity on his radio program today. Hannity disagrees with my solution, but I'm telling you it's the perfect solution. But let me just lead up to it now. So CNN doesn't have the personnel to moderate any debate. And I know that sounds like I'm insulting CNN, and I guess I am. But Wolf Blitzer? No. Okay? Anderson Cooper? Pretty low key. All right? Jake Tapper hates Trump. Hates him. Viscerally hates him. The ladies of CNN? Who? We saw what Caitlin Collins went through. She couldn't control Trump when they had that town hall. So who are they going to trot out? There's nobody. Nobody even close. Now, the one thing that they set up some rules for the debate. That when one of the candidates is asked a question, the other candidate's mic is cut off. Because you remember back in 2020 that Trump interrupted Biden all the time. Biden did the same, but not to the extent that Trump did. So that's good. So you don't want the other candidate just, blasting away. Let the guy finish his statement. I like that. The conditions are the same pretty much. But here's something interesting. RFK Jr. is eliminated. It's one-on-one only. Okay? Poor RFK Jr., he doesn't get in it. And there are time limits, they always run through them, but you got to have that. And, basically it's the standard procedure. So I'm going to give you an example now of how both candidates stretch or ignore the truth. Roll it.
Other people aren't in good shape. I think inflation has gone slightly up. It was at 9% when I came in, and it's now down around 3%.
In his State of the Union this week, Crooked Joe told a total fairy tale about the economy. But the fact is, under Biden, we have a 3-year inflation rate of almost 50%. Under me, you had no inflation. You had no inflation.
Okay, first of all, Biden keeps saying that he inherited a 9% inflation. It's absolutely false. The White House itself acknowledges it's false. It's 1.4%. And then Trump says Biden's 50% inflation. The number is 19%, not 50%. All right? So this is what any moderator is up against. Then you have the malice factor. These guys hate each other's guts. They are going to get personal, down and dirty. You are going to see attacks on families. It is, and that's why it'll be the highest rated debate of all time. Never in our history have two presidential candidates hated each other as much as Biden and Trump. Andrew Jackson and John Quincy Adams came close, but there was no TV and radio back then. They had to yell out the window, like the guy on the movie network. But these guys hate each other. So there's not going to be any boundaries of civility. So it's a mud fest. I'm not going to say it's a cat fight because these guys are much bigger than cats. Now, here is the solution. A, have me the moderator, but that'll never happen in a million years. My former network wouldn't let me debate it. You know, I went one day to Roger Ailes, who ran Fox News. I said, why don't you let me run a debate? And he looked at me, he goes, because we'd like to have some in the future. You know, if I moderated, there would be no nonsense, but it would devolve into maybe a Barney Frank moment. You know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Google O'Reilly, Barney Frank. Anyway, there should be a different format, and here is the format. And I'd like to get your point of view, because Hannity disagrees with me on this. It's bill@BillO'Reilly.com, name and town. You have a 1 hour and 10-minute debate, okay, where a human being, again, CNN's got nobody, asks questions and follows up. Then but the two can't interrupt each other. When it's their turn, they can say, hey, that's a bunch of BS. They can do that, but they can't interrupt while the other's speaking. Okay, so we get through an hour 10 of that. Then there's a 10-minute intermission where they get water and comb their hair, whatever they want to do. They come back for another 30 minutes of a fact check. So I'm the moderator, okay? I'm sitting there. My crack staff, which could do it, has then given me 10 misstatements by Biden, 10 misstatements from Trump. And that'll just scratch the surface, trust me. And then I'll say to Mr. President, you said this, here is the fact, do you want to reply? So you got 30 minutes at the end of the debate to fact check it. Doesn't that make sense? Nobody's going to turn it off, right? So instead of a 90-minute straight debate, you have you have a little bit more than 90 minutes of action and a 10-minute intermission so the moderator can get the stuff in front of him. Okay, my solution, it's perfect. There's no downside to that. But listen to Hannity's argument. I told him it was like two Irish guys in a pub, and write me and let me know what you think. It will not happen. It's way too out of the box for CNN. They're way too frightened to do it. And again, they don't have anybody who can do it on their whole entire staff, which says something. And that's the memo. All right, joining us now, we're pleased to have Kimberly Guilfoyle. You remember her, my old colleague. She's not old, but, you know, when we were at Fox News together. She now works for the Trump campaign. She's got a brand new book out, The Princess and Her Pup. We'll talk about that at the end of this interview. All right, so I'm going to let you take this. You heard the announcement today. Were you taken by surprise, first of all, about Biden wanting these two debates?
Well, a little bit, because I think he was going to continue to sort of dodge and duck and obfuscate, because he really does not relish the idea of debating President Trump. He's already making misstatements, like you pointed out in your memo. He did not win those debates. President Trump has not ducked him. He has said anytime, anywhere, any place.
Yeah, that's outrageous. Thank you. And this is why I used you on the O'Reilly factor, if people remember. Thank you for pointing that out. I mean, the president of the United States gets up on a videotape that's going to go all over the world and says Trump's ducking him on debates, and it's 100% false. But that just makes my point that these two, and I'm sorry, but Donald Trump embellishes and exaggerates. You know he does. Everybody knows. Not to the extent that Biden does. I think Biden leads the league in that, but that's just my opinion. All right, go ahead. So you were caught by surprise, as I was, and now you say?
Well, let's see if he even actually shows up to do it. I think that it shows sort of the desperation and the current state of affairs with his campaign right now, with his plummeting poll numbers. I think he had to do something to show that he cannot hide from the president before he hid in the basement. We had a lockdown, a bunch of things going on. So he really was able to avoid that. They wrote a little nice speech for him there. I get it. Human beings are prone to hyperbole, but so they're both maybe going to exaggerate a little bit. But what's factually accurate is President Trump would love and is relishing the idea to debate Joe Biden. Joe Biden doesn't have the stamina. He doesn't have the cognitive ability to be able to go forward and debate President Trump in a meaningful way. Now, as it relates to your idea, which I think is very interesting, and I love this as a former prosecutor, and yes, I used to do Is It Legal? Very highly rated segment on the O'Reilly Factor every Tuesday. Fact check them. Yeah, do the 10-minute intermission and then come back with the facts and say, hey, this is where you made a statement. It's sort of like a Pinocchio thing. And when you were doing your memo and talking about it, you say, well, who can they get? There is no one. There is no talent left in the building at CNN. I'm not sure at what prehistoric time there was talent there, but it's certainly not there now. I don't know who's going to be able to control either one of them, quite frankly. I mean, you know the president a long time, President Trump, that is, and he's a very commanding presence. You saw when he debated Hillary Clinton, he was walking around on the stage. They couldn't control him. He's moving around. It was actually quite funny to see. And Hillary was like, silent screaming inside because she found it very unnerving. I know you could handle it. And that's a funny story about Roger Ailes, because I 100% could hear him saying that. I'm thinking, well, if O'Reilly did a debate, guess what? No,
I could handle it. But I want to I'll throw out a couple of names of other people so that people know where I'm coming from and where you're coming from, because we're professionals. This is inside baseball. The late Tim Russert could have absolutely done this. He worked for NBC Meet the Press. And the late Mike Wallace at CBS, 60 Minutes, absolutely could have done it, okay, because these are men, or were men, people, all right? I think Barbara Walters, if she wanted to, which she wouldn't because she didn't like to get into controversy, might have been able to do it. But you have to look them in the eye and say, even if you favor one or the other. Now, I favor Donald Trump for re-election. My audience knows that, okay? Because I have to tell them, and I have on the No Spin News, why. I think Joe Biden's the second worst president in the history of the United States. And I'll back that up in my upcoming book, Confronting the Presidents. But anyway,
who's number one?
Even though I want Biden to lose because he's damaging the country in ways that people don't even understand yet, I have to treat him fairly. I can't go in the tank for Donald Trump. And if Donald Trump, as I just pointed out, says inflation under Biden's 50% when it isn't, I have to say that. All right? But at CNN, it's not a matter of these people being in the tank. They're not MSNBC. I mean, that's the absolute worst. CNN just doesn't have the skill set, the people over there to do it. I mean, I think that Erin, what's her name, is probably the best of them. She's on at 7 o'clock. But I mean, I'm looking at the roster and I don't see anybody there who could possibly run this debate so the American people benefit. See,
Right.
the
That's
candidates shouldn't, that's what the moderator should be doing. We don't care what the candidates, I mean, the partisans do. Now, here's another question for you. Even before the debate happens, and we assume it's going to happen on the 27th of June, 80% of the country has already decided who won, even before they turn on the television. So no matter what Trump does, the MAGA people go, Trump won the debate. And no matter what Biden does, even if he collapses on the stage, they'll say Trump had a secret potion and that's why he collapsed. But it's the 20% in the middle who don't know who are going to make the decision. And that's the importance of these debates.
I totally agree, because that's where it is. That's a sweet spot, that 20%, the people that are undecided, the independents that are looking to make a decision. There's people out there that are saying, you know what, I'm going to put, my family first over partisan politics and my party. And I want to see which one of these people that can actually lead the country out of this economic and financial abyss that we're in, with a lack of any kind of superiority in national security, foreign policy. America is definitely not safe these days. It was much safer, far less geopolitical conflict under President Trump. And so I think people are looking at all these things. And I think
but I hope they get it, because I'm not confident that CNN can bring this off. All right, tell me about, it's kpup.com, by the way, if you want to buy Kimberly's book, The Princess and Her Pup.
I should have just called it Guilfoyle, guilfoylepup.com.
Tell me why you wrote the book and why people should read the book. I'm going to give you about 45 seconds, a straight plug. Go.
Generous. I wrote the book. It's a passion project. My mother worked as an educator with special needs children, and I feel more than ever with what's happening in the country, children need something that is pure, that is inspirational. It's about rescue dog and a little princess that have fears. Together, they face their fears. You're more courageous with a little friend. And it's a very sweet book. 10% of the proceeds go to Furry Friends for animal rescue to prevent animal abuse and find forever homes for animals. This is a real rescue dog, little Jack, with his little eye patch, little pirate patch that Don Jr. and I have. So it's a very nice personal message, and I dedicate it to my son, Ronan, and in memory of my parents.
All very admirable. And where, again, can people get the book?
kgpup.com and also on Amazon. And then guess what? This is what President Trump is going to get when he debates Joe Biden. The squeaky toy in the brain. You can get this for your favorite pup along with the book. And my dogs, they just love. They can't get enough of this guy.
So let me get this straight. So the president of the United States is now reduced to a chew toy. Is that?
That's right, with the squeaky.
Okay. And you know what Trump's going to do with that? He's going to smash it against the podium or something. All right, Kimberly. Thank you for appearing. We really appreciate it. Good luck with the book. I hope you sell a lot of copies.
You're the best. Thank you so much.
You all know that due to cancel culture, Mike Lindell and MyPillow no longer have the support of their box stores or shopping channels. So they want to pass those savings directly to you. Thanks to their dedicated employees, MyPillow has hundreds of products, some you may not even know about. To spread the word, they are having a $25 extravaganza. For just $25 each, you can get 2-pack multi-use MyPillows, 6-pack towel sets, sandals, and more. For the first time, get premium MyPillows with all new Giza fabric, any size, any loft level, for just $25. This amazing offer will not last long. So please visit mypillow.com or call 1-800-869-0298. Use promo code BILL for free shipping on any order over $75 today. That's mypillow.com, code BILL. Here is the mail. We got Joe Sully, Sedona, Arizona. Love the show. I like Trump. In your opinion, how would he deal with inflation? The reason inflation is so painful for us, the consumer, is because the federal government under Biden is printing too much money and the federal government is spending too much money. When you put more dollars in circulation, okay, prices go up because the dollars aren't worth. There's too many of them. So Trump would have to stop much of the discretionary spending, and I think he would. Michael Pelt, Jacksonville, Florida. The national crime wave and general disrespect for law and order started after the George Floyd killing. Yes, it did. But it accelerated when the progressives got into the attorney general seats and the district attorney, and they wouldn't prosecute crimes. But you're right about the origin of it. Jerry Abjman, Salida, Colorado. When the government justice system overextends itself, why can't you appeal immediately to a higher court? Trump can afford his legal team, but everyday people will go bankrupt. That's right. If you're charged with a crime and you're convicted, it's going to cost you so much money to appeal it and all that. Very few Americans can do it. That's absolutely right. J. Keith Haynes, Anniston, Alabama. Bill, your analysis of the situation between Israel and the Palestinians is spot on. Thank you for being brave enough to actually state the truth. It's not bravery. It's my job. I don't feel particularly brave. I mean, I'm just doing what I have to do. David Brooks, Fair Dealing, Missouri. Recently you said if Ukraine falls, then Putin will go on to try to dominate other states in Eastern Europe. That's the domino theory. But they said the same thing in the Vietnam War, and that never happened. That's not true, David. Cambodia and Laos were communists and went communist because of the North Vietnamese. And there's a big difference between Hanoi and Moscow. Putin is 1,000 times more powerful than Hanoi. So Putin's not going to stop. If he gets Ukraine, the world is in really bad shape. Kevin Cottrell, Walled Lake, Michigan. I'm interested in purchasing the Killing books. Are they still available in hardcover? Well, welcome back to the United States, Kevin. I guess you've been in Borneo for the last 5 years. All of my books are hardcover. All of them. You get them on BillO'Reilly.com. We got them bundled up for you. We'll go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble. I mean, the back list of my books still sell, all the way back to Killing Lincoln. So anyway, I appreciate it. I'm making fun of you a little bit, but the hardback's available if you want them. And the new book, Confronting the Presidents. And boy, we have good stories in there. And very relevant to what's going on now. So this comes out September 10th. You can pre-order on BillO'Reilly.com. You get it first. We also have the Not Woke mug in the United States of Trump. This is a perfect gift for Father's Day. $35. Or you get the book and the mug for a very reasonable price, and Dad will be happy. Then we have a more upscale gift for Dad, leather-bound, limited edition, A Killing Patent, one of our most popular books. This is beautiful. It's a little bit more expensive, but you want to consider it if you like Dad or Granddad. Then we got the Self-Reliance mugs, twinned with the Not Woke mugs, for the graduates. Self-reliance is the message you want to give them. And finally, we have a book bundle, and this is for anybody who wants a great gift. Killing the Witches, The Legends, The Killers, The Mob, Crazy Horse, 33% off all of those books. We'll send them all to you. Where they do not be mawkish, MAWKISH. We'll be back with the final thought in a moment. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation supports America's greatest heroes, U.S. service members, and first responders who gave their lives, those catastrophically injured in the line of duty, and homeless vets. The Foundation's Gold Star Fallen First Responder and Homeless Vet programs honor the sacrifices made by men who fought and died for us, and women who risked their lives for our country as well. The Foundation's Never Forget program engages people in 9/11 remembrances across America with more than 80 runs, walks, and dozens of golf outings every year. The Tunnel to Towers 9/11 Institute educates kids from kindergarten through 12th grade about America's darkest day while helping our nation keep its vow to never forget. So please support Tunnel to Towers. Donate $11 a month. Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. More than 95 cents of every dollar you donate to Tunnel to Towers goes to its programs. That's T, the number 2, another T.org. Sorting through your expense tracking, estimated payments, and all those tax deductions can be overwhelming. It might even lead to a failure to file and failure to pay penalties that pile up on your tax debt. The attorneys at Tax Network USA have been lifesavers for many. Their team has successfully saved clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you're in the hole for $10,000 or starting at a $10 million debt, they are ready to help you. The expert attorneys and tax professionals at Tax Network USA are equipped to secure the best settlement for you and help you resolve all tax cases. So please go to tnusa.com/bill, or you can call 1-800-245-6000. These tax debt relief programs are expected to change, so get to them now. Visit tnusa.com/bill or call 800-245-6000. Tell them O'Reilly sent you. All right, a final thought goes back to the talking points memo on the debate. It's going to be a fiasco. There's no way it can't be a fiasco. Record audience, June 27, okay? As I said, 80% of the country already has the winner of the debate before it takes place because people believe what they want to believe. That's one of the things that I said, something's going to happen. That's one of them. Something else is going to happen. But I don't know what it is because this surprised me this morning, this debate thing. But, you know, this election, boy, this is quite something. I don't think I've ever covered something this intense in my entire 50-year career. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. We'll see you on Monday. No, we'll see you tomorrow. It's Thursday. I will be here on Thursday. I'll see you then. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.